But where are you really from?
A podcast about the Asian American struggle.
Hey everyone, I'm Angela Lynn.
And I'm Jessie Lynn, and welcome back to But Where Are You Really From?
Today we're getting drunk.
Yes.
Cheers. For those who can't see us,
the drinking.
I know, right? For those who can't see us on camera, we just cheers to our respective drinks. Jessie, what are you drinking?
I am drinking plum wine because all of my hard alcohol has been in my apartment for a few months now, and I'm pretty sure it's undrinkable. So and Tuesday, so I don't want to die tomorrow, so I'm just drinking some plum wine. What about
you have it in a super fancy glass, though, for people who can't see it.
Yes.
It's in like a martini glass.
Yes. We fancy up in here.
Meanwhile, I have a literal koozie in my hand with a beer. I'm drinking a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Wait, is that what you call a beer cooler holder? A koozie?
This is a koozie. Yeah, the foam thing that you put a beer in.
Time.
Yeah.
Oh, this makes so much sense now.
People are just using the word koozie and you're pretending like you know, but you don't.
I mean, I knew it was like beer adjacent, but I didn't know exactly what it was. And it was like never important. So I never asked what a koozie was.
And I guess, do you even drink beer that much? Because I'm like a big beer person. That's why. Because if you're not a big beer drinker, you wouldn't like be using koozies.
I feel like I've gone through phases. Like I think out of college I was really into beer because college, and then like a few years into working I was like I can't drink anymore because I'm gonna die and not go to work. So then I started doing like easy drinking at home, which means like wine. And
but that's funny because I associate beer with easy drinking.
No, not for me.
Oh, you were just, if you drank beer, you had to go balls to the wall.
Well, I mean, it's like just so easy to drink. It's like fizzy water. You just keep drinking and drinking and drinking. The same thing doesn't happen to me with wine, though, because at a specific point, I just fall asleep.
Wine does make you sleepy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the carbonation in beer that keeps you not sleepy, because carbonation kind of like wakes you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but beer, you can't drink like that much because you get full. It's
you get really
filling.
Bloated.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the reason why I like stopped drinking beer, because I was like, I feel so bloated like all the time after drinking, and it's really not fun.
Hey everyone, we love doing this podcast, and if you enjoy our episodes, we would really appreciate if you could support us in any number of ways. First is by subscribing to us, rating us, and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. Second is by telling a friend. Third is following us on Instagram at whereareyoufrompod. Fourth is by buying our merch on our website. And fifth is supporting us on Buy Me a Coffee. You can find out more about all of these by visiting our Instagram's link in bio. And again, our handle is at whereareyoufrompod. Thank you.
Anyways. Sorry, y'all. We just went on a tangent because we're drinking now. But let's get to why we're drinking. So one is just the fact that, we've covered a lot of topics that can be heavy and requires a lot of emotional capacity for us. And we need to just sprinkle in some lighthearted shit in here. And so we decided to have an episode where we kind of mix heavy things and make it lighter. So we're going to play a drinking game with each other where we are going to try to stump each other with whether the headlines that we share, news headlines that we're going to share, are fake or real COVID headlines. And To be transparent, we're going to be drinking throughout the whole thing, but I guess we'll just say the rules are if we guess wrong on our respective thing, we take like, what, an extra long sip or?
Sure.
Yeah. Clearly a loose game here. Do you want to go first or second?
I will go first. Which one? Okay. Guests at baby's birthday party fined 11,000 pounds as 24 people cram into flat.
Wait, what? Wait, what does this have to do with COVID?
Because they're fined for...
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like they found 11,000 pounds.
No.
Because I didn't know what you were talking. I was like, pounds of what? Cocaine?
Okay. Let me repeat. Guests at baby's birthday fined 11,000 British pounds as 24 people cram into flat.
I'm going to say that's real.
Yes, that is real.
Too specific.
That's true. It is very specific.
Okay, but tell us the story.
Well, there's not really a lot to it. Basically, they got caught for breaking like the restrictions on group gatherings in the UK. I got this from Metro UK, by the way, so it's like questionably real news source, but mostly
it's not
tabloid.
The Daily Mail.
It's like Daily Mail adjacent. I think
I love company. Daily Mail.
Thank you. You keep us afloat with all of the ads. They have so many ads. Okay.
Sure.
But anyways, they were found in violation of the gathering restrictions. And this one I think is just so funny because it's like right in the middle of two really bad things. Like the whole gender reveal, celebrating your baby, like nonsense, like celebrate your baby, but like don't be crazy. Okay. So there's that. And then there's like the people who are just like not paying attention to any rules whatsoever. Also, like totally fine. Everyone breaks some rules, but like, come on now. 24 baby in a tiny London flat. 24 people.
Like 24 babies.
Yes, there are 24 babies and they were fined. No, 24 people in a tiny London flat for a baby. Like, I mean, like the baby's at risk. Come on.
Okay, well, I'll give you one.
Okay.
Let's see what you think.
I'm ready.
Taiwan authorities revoke quarantine fine for a man after discovering he was kidnapped.
Revoked quarantine fine after discovering he was kidnapped. I'm going to say that this is true.
It was true. You're right. Okay, this shit is bizarro. So there was a guy who came in from a flight. I don't know if he's from Hong Kong or if he just flew from Hong Kong, but he came from Hong Kong in October and he was quarantining at a friend's house. So the friend was not there. It was his friend just let him quarantine there. Mm-hmm. And one night, late night, people broke into this guy's house and kidnapped him because they were debt collectors, and I guess the friend owed a bunch of money. So the debt collectors thought that this guy was his friend. So they kidnapped him and I guess beat him up because they said he had injuries, and then he made him pay the debts and then let him go. And then police found out that the guy left his house and then fined him $3,500 for leaving quarantine during his, because Taiwan has like mandatory 14-day quarantine upon arrival. And so not only did he get beat up, kidnapped, extorted for money, but then he gets fined for leaving the quarantine against his will. The silver lining is that once the local authorities passed on to like a higher, judicial power, they were like, oh, actually, this guy was kidnapped. Like, this is bullshit. Yeah. So they dismissed the fine.
Yeah.
It's just like, what bad luck does this guy have?
So, like, what did he go back to Hong Kong? Like, what happened to him?
I don't know what happened to him. It just says that the fine was dismissed and they're looking into the kidnappers. But like,
what a saga.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, Underground Juggalo convention shut down for violating COVID-19 restrictions.
True.
It's false. I made that up.
Aww,
drink girl.
Okay.
It does sound really true, right?
Sounds real enough.
You know what's so funny is that as I was going through these headlines that I made up, I'm like, some of these might be real news.
Mm-hmm. I had to Google. Some of mine got debunked. I was like, damn.
Oh, like the ones you made up were actually real news? Oh, oh my gosh.
So be careful with my next ones.
No juggalos, please.
Okay, my turn. Moscow offering free ice cream as COVID-19 vaccine incentive.
Does this fit Putin's MO? I'm going to say this is false.
This shit true.
Stop.
It's true.
Oh
Drink,
my
bitch.
gosh. I need to hear more.
Yeah, okay. So this is from the New York Post. And the article was like 2 paragraphs long, so there's not a lot to it. But basically, I mean, the background, which is like useful information to know, is that generally Russians don't want to take the vaccine because for a good reason, they are suspicious of their government. So like, I didn't know this. And actually, I think I read this somewhere else, but because Russia was one of the first, or was the first country, right, to develop the vaccine, a vaccine. Yeah. And they were trying to like rush it out before they even had like the final safety checks on things. And at the time they were like, yeah, let's get this out. And Putin was like, I'm gonna wait till this is like proven to be safe for, because he's like 68. So, he's at the brink. And so it's like, I'm not going to take it yet until it's like proven safe for my age range. And so obviously then the population was like, if you're not going to take it, why should I trust you for me to take it? So basically the story of this article is that people don't want to take it. Only 38% of Russians are confident about receiving the shot. So basically no one wants to take the shot. And so it's just one vaccination center, but there's some center in a mall who is incentivizing people to come in to get the shot by giving them free ice cream. Stop. It's just real. Yeah. It's in a mall. That's also like the funnier imagining of the scenario.
Okay, but ice cream in Russia? Like, is that like, do people like that? It's freezing there all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, right? Right now it's probably very cold. Yeah, and this was published 2 days ago. So yeah, it's cold right now. How about hot cocoa? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hot toddy?
Fix that incentive.
Yeah.
Vodka? Even vodka would be
right? Yeah. Well, I know. It's kind of bizarre. But also the other interesting thing is like the context of that no one wants to take it there. But juxtaposed against Putin's goal of having 60% of Russia vaccinated in 6 months. I'm like, seems like it's going to be kind of hard if no one wants to take it.
I mean, it is Russia. He could literally just force everyone.
I honestly was kind of surprised that they had a choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Next.
Let's see what I got for you. Pop pedophile Gary Glitter is one of the host of elderly prisons given COVID vaccine.
Wait, what? Read it one more time.
Pop pedophile Gary Glitter is one of a host of elderly prisons given the COVID vaccine.
Prisoners?
That's what the headline says.
Oh, you said prisons.
Prisoners.
I was like, he's
prisoners.
a prison?
Oh, I'm sorry. Prisoners. Elderly prisoners. Am I drunk?
Maybe. Yeah, you and I both don't drink that much anymore, so probably. True.
This is true.
Okay, you have to drink.
Wait, what?
I guess correctly.
That was not a rule.
I'm making it up now.
It's yummy.
I've been drinking even between the questions.
I have slowly. Okay, so first of all, I don't know who Gary Glitter is whatsoever.
Great name, though.
But apparently he is a pedophile, and he is an elderly prisoner that has been given the COVID vaccine before guards and victims. And this was in the Daily Mail UK. Yeah.
Daily Mail.
Daily Mail UK, girl. This is a hot, contentious issue here too. About vaccinating prison populations before like general public.
Okay, how about this? Frequent sex can lower chances of contracting the coronavirus.
That's false.
It's false. Yeah.
I was like, that should like make your chances of having coronavirus more because you're having sex with rando people.
Hey, whoa, it doesn't say with random people.
Okay,
it could have been
well-
like with your partner.
Okay, well, I just revealed too much about my.
Yeah, clearly. Jesus.
No, but also still doesn't make sense. But sure.
I mean, I don't know, because people try to claim sex as like exercise. So I don't know, you could have made a connection between like health and exercising, because people that are unhealthy are more likely to have more symptoms.
But I don't think those are like directly related. They're like
No,
indirectly
of course not.
related. Yeah.
Well, here's a PSA because it's wrong, but I looked up some stuff for some tips from Harvard Health around having safe sex during COVID. Or just like myths, debunking myths. So like the sex itself, like penetration, like that is not able to give you COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just rule that out right there. But it's because sex involves a lot more things, and like you're just closer and more intimate with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kissing and the droplets that can transfer COVID, because it's it's a respiratory disease. So that's the part that actually gets you potentially sick. But Harvard Health did say do still be intimate with your partner, because I think there's a challenge right now, right? Because people are like, you have to be safe, but then people are being like extra cautious, or like you're super isolated. So then you're like removing the mental health positive part of connecting with people. So basically it was just saying like, be safe. You can still have sex, especially if you're with like a committed person and you're like quarantined together. Like that's not a reason to like suddenly be apart from each other. But like, don't obviously have sex with someone who just tested positive 2 days ago. Like, it was just like, be fucking smart.
Not a good idea. No.
It said wait 7 days after they've been symptom free, and at least, I think similarly, 7 days fever free. Basically use common sense, but like still have sex and still be intimate and still have connection with people. That's all.
Yes, that 100% makes sense. I love looking at these tips from some of these places, because it's like really like a really weird thing to see from very prestigious institutions. Like I remember, I think the CDC also had a list, and like glory holes were on them, and I was like, this is the first time I've seen glory holes on the CDC website like ever.
Didn't Cuomo have a PSA around sex or something?
Maybe, probably.
I saw something about New York about like, don't have sex or something, and I was like, what is this?
Let's be real. People are still hooking up and having sex.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, next.
UK coronavirus strain is doubling in the US every 10 days.
I feel like you're tricking me with like, it's probably like every 20 days, not every 10 days or some bullshit like that. It's true.
It is true.
Okay.
It is true. I will drink.
Yeah.
It is doubling every 10 days in the US. This was reported on CNBC. And it was based off of modeling done by the CDC.
Where are people really traveling that much still? How are we getting the UK strain?
Well, yeah, it's very unclear, but I guess since international travel is like not actually shut off, people can still shuffle back and forth.
I mean, it is unless you're national. So I guess it's like if someone was an American who was abroad and then came back,
or if you have a lot of people, a lot of people going back and forth are dual nationality people, I think.
Okay, how about this? Dogs can be trained to detect COVID-19.
True.
Oh, you already read that?
I've seen this before.
Okay, yeah, it is true. Okay, so this was from CNN as well, but also a website called prevention.com. I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, it's mostly from CNN, but the prevention.com was that the Miami Heat have allowed a limited number of fans to come to their games, and the arena is patrolled by these dogs that can sniff out. Yeah. Anyways, but the kind of, the high level is that it's promising. It's good that like dogs can be trained to do this. Basically, the types of dogs that can be trained to do this are ones that already can sniff out illnesses. So I don't know if everyone already knows, but some dogs are trained to be able to smell like colon cancer, malaria, Parkinson's disease, like a lot of really, serious things. They can actually sniff those out. So those are the dogs that are now in these studies in a lot of different places. But this article specifically about a study based in France and Lebanon, where they had about 180 patients. Half of them were COVID positive, half weren't. And they used the sweat. They like isolated the sweat from each of the patients and had the dogs like sniff through them, and they consistently were able to identify the ones that were positive. So basically it's promising. It's not like at all meant to replace COVID tests, but they're seeing it as like complementary, especially for opening up these more public spaces. So like airports and like the Miami Heat with like sports arenas and stuff, places where like people are going to be gathering and like coming and going. So, this is the future.
I mean, that's use every tool you got. Why not? Okay. COVID-19 vaccine causes HIV in some recipients.
False.
This is false.
Yeah, that
this
sound
is
true.
false.
I feel like I would have heard about that. That sounds too big of a like.
There were two related news stories. So one was that I think one of the like canceled vaccine candidates was canceled because it caused people to be more susceptible to getting HIV. And there was another candidate that was being developed by a biotech firm in Australia, and they were using like an engineered version of the HIV virus to deliver an immune response, like deliver the virus particles to create an immune response. And they stopped that one because they were using the HIV, like a edited version of HIV virus. It could cause people to accidentally test false positive for HIV. So they stopped development on that one too. But there were a few that were like adjacent news stories to this.
I know what you're saying, yeah, because I did hear something about using like something with HIV cure, or not cures, like HIV medicine or something as a base. I heard something about that as like.
Yes, there was another one where it was like some kind of like antiviral that was originally developed for HIV. They were trying to use it as like experimental treatment. I don't think it worked.
Oh, well, they were trying everything at some point.
Yeah.
Still are. Okay. How about this? Coronavirus will resemble the common cold.
This is a headline?
Scientists predict.
Yes, true.
It's true. Could you tell it was true only because I said scientists predict?
No, well, it didn't seem like a real headline because it was so short. I was like, is there like a conclusion to this headline?
That's what it was. Coronavirus will resemble the common cold, comma, scientists predict.
That comma scientist predicts made all the difference.
Well, that's why I crossed it off initially, because I wanted to trick you. I was like, I mean, the catchy part is the part before scientists predict.
No, but I have seen that where they're saying, well, because the coronavirus is related to other coronaviruses which cause the common cold.
That's right. And yeah, this is from New York Times. It's funny how I pulled all the legit sources. You pulled
Sorry.
Metro. That's funny because I love Daily Mail. I'm constantly being served Daily Mail articles because I love all the like serial killer things that they cover it all the time.
Okay. I was like, why are you on Daily Mail?
I'm never on Daily Mail. People are pushing me Daily Mail articles. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's exactly what you said. It's very similar to the common colds from like the family of coronaviruses, because I think most people know by now, but like this is not the coronavirus. Like coronavirus is like a group of, it's like a type of virus, and COVID is one of those. Anyways, and yeah, the hope is that it will one day become endemic, basically that it just like exists, but it's going to circulate at low levels and will not cause serious illness. That's the hope. And apparently, if we just like never had vaccinations, it would take a couple years to up to decades for it to become endemic. But luckily, because we have vaccinations coming out, the hope is that, you know, it will speed it up. And they say, which is, I don't think it's going to happen, but they say that an efficient vaccination rollout, which is not what's happening right now, but could shorten the time frame to a year or even 6 months for it to become endemic. So that's like best case scenario.
Oh, okay. It's my turn.
Yeah.
My turn.
Okay. Look at that martini glass pose.
I am thinking it through. Okay. White people 3 times more likely to be vaccinated than mixed race people.
I'm going to say false because I don't think headlines say white people.
It's true.
What outlet is this?
Well, it's on Metro UK.
This is where you pulled all your articles from.
Yes. I was like, where can I do like a one-stop shop for like trash news that's written in a way that seems that it could be false, but it's most likely true? Obviously, this is all like UK people, but new figures show that white people are 3 times more likely to have had a coronavirus vaccine than mixed race people in England, and 1.5 times more likely than Asian people.
I mean, that makes sense to me. I guess I was just thrown off by the fact that they call them white people. Oh my God, that's funny. Like whenever we talk and I say white people, I feel a little like, ooh,
you're like, ooh, I shouldn't say that about them.
Yeah, that's so funny. Okay, well, should we move into fortune cookie?
Yes.
You can take us in.
Welcome, listeners, to the fortune cookie.
Less excited.
The fortune cookie section, the closing section of our podcast. I am almost at the bottom of my martini glass, so we're having a good time. There's nothing here.
Yes, there is, bitch.
Where? Oh my gosh.
He's too drunk. He can't scroll down to our fucking Google
I'm sorry.
Doc.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. She's looking at the wrong part of the outline. Okay. So to complement our drinking during this episode, we're going to each disclose what our favorite hangover foods is. And I will go first because I am already talking. What is my...
I think we should drink more often.
Yeah, this is pretty fun. What's my favorite hangover food? I'm going to say French toast. I really like French toast. Yeah.
Interesting. But where are you getting French toast where you're... sorry, hangover. So morning. Well, sometimes there's like, sorry, I was confusing drunk food and hangover food.
Oh, got it. No, I like to do like brunch at the... No. I like to do French toast at the brunch the next day.
Okay.
I was going to say, I like to do brunch at the brunch the next day because I forgot French toast.
You have a spot too, don't you, that you usually go to?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't go there now because it's so cold and the outdoor seating thing is like not great there. But there are a few places in the neighborhood that I like to visit. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
So I don't do this anymore because I don't drink enough to get real hangovers. But this was a pro tip when I was in business school. It did me well every time. And part of me wishes I could be as big of a degenerate again as that so that I could repeat this routine that I did. So when I was in business school, it was Chicago. I was in Chicago. Not a lot of Asians there, right? But there was a very legit Chinese restaurant that was like a couple blocks away from my apartment. And what I would do before, so like we had, it was business school is just like college 2.0. So we had like, dances and like other formals, just like high school and college. So when we would have one of these like big events, I knew I'd be fucking wasted. So I'd go to the Chinese restaurant earlier in the day and I'd order a combo fried rice, which was always too big because it's a Chinese restaurant. So it was like big enough portion for like 2 people or 2 meals for 1 person. So I'd get that. And then I'd stop by Mariano's, which is the supermarket chain there. And I'd pick up 2 giant Gatorades. And I'd take those home and I would put the Gatorades in the fridge and also the fried rice. But when I'd come home wasted, I would drink a full Gatorade eat half of the fried rice and then go to sleep. And the next morning, I would wake up kind of groggy, but not like dead. And I would drink the other Gatorade and eat the rest of the fried rice. And then I was functioning.
Okay.
Which is the best you can hope for when you were super, super wasted.
I have no idea how that is like, how that even works, A,
What?
and B, if that's good for you. No. Like, I don't understand how that works. Not that, like, it doesn't work.
Let me break it down for you as the drunk person.
CEO of drunk.
Rationalizing my decisions. The Gatorade is electrolytes. You're dehydrated. That's a big reason why you get hangovers is when you're dehydrated. So it's, first of all, like a shit ton of liquid that I'm forcing myself to drink. But Gatorade has electrolytes in it. So it's like refueling you with the right kinds of things you need to be rehydrated as you're sipping your last drops of your martini glass.
Bartender.
And then you also need carbs to soak up the alcohol because another reason you like throw up and like feel awful, nauseous and stuff is when you have like an empty stomach and the alcohol is just like swishing around in there. So the carbs soak it up. So then I like do half of the work the night before so that I'm not like letting it percolate in there. And then the next morning I finish it off with the same regimen and then it does great.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, if you're reporting it works,
It worked every time.
Oh, okay, well then I'll have to try that sometime, but like probably not for like a year.
Yeah, I mean, when are we gonna go out again? So, anyways,
hopefully soon, please.
Well, hopefully you can take our tips for the future when we are allowed to go out and have fun again.
Yeah, please.
Write us in with either your favorite ridiculous COVID headline that you've seen during this time or your favorite drunk/hangover food that you want to share with everyone. And reminder that we are still looking for listener story submissions. So write us in about your experience with either this topic or whatever you want at telluswhereyou'refrom@gmail.com. The your is YOURE.
And as always, join us next week for a more sober episode. Until then,
再见, bitches.